The hospital corridor smelled like antiseptic and quiet desperation, the kind that settles into your bones and makes even the strongest people whisper instead of speak. On a hard plastic chair near the window sat a little girl who hadn't laughed in months, staring at the rain sliding down the glass as if it were carrying away the last pieces of her hope. Her wheelchair was still, but her eyes were tired, far too tired for someone so young. And just down the hall, a man with calloused hands and a heart full of quiet courage was about to change her life with a promise so simple it sounded impossible: "I'll help her." Before we step into their story, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, resilience, and second chances, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this remind us that even the smallest promise can rewrite someone's future. Amelia was 12 when the accident happened. One rainy evening, a car skidded through a red light, and in a single terrible moment, her world split into before and after. Before was ballet recitals, sleepovers, and dreams of dancing on big stages. After was hospital rooms, endless therapy sessions, and the quiet verdict doctors delivered with careful voices: spinal cord damage, paralysis from the waist down, uncertain recovery. Her mother had passed away years earlier, so it was just Amelia and her father, a powerful CEO known for making billion-dollar decisions without hesitation. Yet nothing in his boardrooms had prepared him for the helplessness of watching his daughter fade into silence. He hired the best specialists, flew in experts, funded experimental therapies, but each new attempt ended the same way: polite sympathy, limited progress, and Amelia retreating further into herself. She stopped talking about the future. She stopped asking questions. Some days she barely spoke at all. One afternoon, after another therapy session that ended with Amelia refusing to try, her father walked into the hospital cafeteria to clear his head. That's where he noticed Daniel. Daniel was easy to overlook, a maintenance worker pushing a cart, humming softly while fixing a flickering light. His clothes were simple, his posture slightly tired, but there was a calm steadiness about him. On his lunch break, he sat across from a little boy doing homework, his son, Noah, patiently explaining math problems with gentle encouragement. The CEO watched them longer than he intended. There was something about Daniel's patience, the way he listened fully, that felt grounding. Later that day, Daniel was assigned to repair a loose handrail near the pediatric wing. As he worked, he noticed Amelia by the window, her gaze distant. Noah, who often waited for his dad after school, rolled a small toy car along the floor nearby. The car accidentally bumped against Amelia's wheelchair. "I'm sorry," Noah said quickly. Amelia looked down at the toy but didn't respond. Daniel knelt beside her, careful not to intrude. "That car's pretty fast," he said gently. "My son thinks it could win any race." For a moment, nothing happened. Then Amelia's lips twitched, the faintest hint of a smile. Over the next few days, Daniel would greet her whenever he passed. No pressure. Just small conversations. About the rain, about Noah's school projects, about the birds outside the window. One evening, Amelia's father noticed something unusual. She was listening. He approached Daniel. "She doesn't usually engage with anyone," he said quietly. Daniel shrugged. "Sometimes people just need someone who isn't trying to fix them, just someone willing to sit." They talked more. The CEO learned Daniel was a single dad who had lost his wife years earlier. He worked 2 jobs, yet still found time to volunteer at a community center helping kids with disabilities, something he started after Noah struggled with anxiety following his mother's death. One afternoon, Amelia overheard Daniel telling Noah, "Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's just trying again." That night, she asked her father, "Can Daniel come visit tomorrow?" The next day, Daniel sat beside her wheelchair. She hesitated before speaking. "Do you think people can get better even when doctors aren't sure?" Daniel met her eyes. "I think people can surprise everyone, especially themselves." She swallowed. "I'm scared to try again." He leaned closer and whispered softly, "I'll help her." It was a simple sentence, but something in his voice, steady, sincere, made Amelia believe him. From then on, Daniel began spending time with her after work. He didn't pretend to be a doctor. Instead, he focused on rebuilding her confidence, celebrating small victories, encouraging her through difficult exercises, reminding her that progress wasn't measured only in steps. He introduced her to adaptive art, helped her set small goals, and shared stories of people who had overcome challenges. Noah became her friend, bringing jokes and homework stories that made her laugh for the first time in months. The CEO watched in quiet amazement. The expensive therapies had addressed her body, but Daniel was healing something deeper, her spirit. Weeks turned into months. Amelia started participating more in physical therapy. One day, she managed to move her leg slightly, a tiny movement that brought tears to everyone's eyes. But progress wasn't linear. There were setbacks, days of frustration, moments when Amelia wanted to give up. During one particularly difficult evening, she snapped, "What if I never walk again?" Daniel sat beside her. "Then we find other ways for you to shine. But we don't stop trying. Not because we're guaranteed success, but because you're worth the effort." Her father, listening from the doorway, felt something shift inside him, a realization that strength wasn't about control, but about presence. As months passed, Amelia grew stronger emotionally and physically. She began mentoring younger patients, sharing her journey and encouraging them. One morning during therapy, supported by parallel bars, she managed to stand, trembling but upright. The room fell silent before erupting in applause. Her father wiped away tears he didn't bother hiding. Later, he found Daniel in the hallway. "You did what money couldn't," he said quietly. Daniel shook his head. "She did it. I just reminded her she could." On the anniversary of her accident, Amelia organized a small event at the hospital to thank the staff and patients. She spoke openly about her journey, the fear, the darkness, and the moment someone believed in her when she couldn't believe in herself. She looked at Daniel and Noah. "Sometimes hope comes from unexpected places," she said. Years later, Amelia would continue improving, eventually regaining partial mobility and pursuing a career advocating for accessible healthcare. Her father shifted his company's focus toward funding rehabilitation programs, inspired by what he had witnessed. Daniel remained a constant presence, a reminder that extraordinary change often begins with ordinary kindness. And if this story touched your heart, if you believe that one act of compassion can change a life, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us of the power we hold to lift each other up. Because somewhere, right now, someone is waiting for a voice to say, "I'll help."